Hi, my name is Guy Griffiths from GG Fit, and I just want to run through a quick presentation on how many members are coming back to gyms and health clubs with a particular UK focus. Reason being, there's quite a lot of talk and fairly positive news, particularly in the UK, about how many members are going to come back when we reopen. Some of the surveys from Sport England, our friends at LeisureNet, our friends at TA6, say that between 84 and 88% of members will return. That's of members surveyed. And as I say, on LinkedIn and some other sites, people are talking about 90% of members coming back. But we need to temper that with a little bit of a reality check, I believe. It's very positively reassuring. It's great to be positive, but as I say, a bit of reality is needed. Another survey conducted by our friends at MyCustomerLens delved deeper into when people would be coming back, and it showed that 42% will return as soon as clubs open, which, as I say, is more realistic, and we need to know how many people are coming back straight away. So if we've got a 1,000 member club, just as a headline, that means 420 members are coming back, which is probably better from a social distancing and a management point of view. Whether or not that's good from a financial point of view or not, we'll come back onto. But I think even now we need a bit of truth serum here, and we need to look in more depth at these numbers, because the fact is, if 42% of people say they'll come back out of the ones that completed the survey, people who've clicked on a survey link is typically, in the health and fitness industry, it's normally about a 3% click rate. So if we're being optimistic and say, look, actually this was a good click rate, say 10% of people who opened the email then completed the survey, that's good. There will have been people who clicked the link on social as well, but those are typically less than 1% of a brand's followers. So 10% of people who clicked it and then went through and filled it in, that's 10% of people who opened. Open rate in the fitness industry typically is around 20%. We've seen much better engagement through lockdown with a lot of the campaigns we've sent for clients, up to 50%. And I expect this survey was probably opened by more members than usual. Nevertheless, the point here is that we've got 50% of people opened the email optimistically, 10% of them clicked it. So actually, the 42% who will return soon from a 1,000 member club is more like 50 people. So it's 50 people out of those 1,000 have opened this email. And what we're saying is 21 of them will return soon. The other 950 members who either haven't opened the email or haven't clicked on the email, they're less engaged. They're not more likely to return soon. I would say they're much less likely to return soon. I would probably say around 5 or 10% of them will return soon. But let's keep this, as I say, optimistic and say they are going to, half of them are going to return. So rather than 42%, 21% will return soon. So I'm being conservative here. But if 21% of those remaining 950 will return soon, we've actually got 200 members and the 21 from the engaged bunch that are going to be coming back soon after reopening. Also, we need to bear in mind that at a 1,000 member club, that we're seeing stats that around 1 in 5 are cancelling. And I'd say that's fairly average from some of the data that we've seen and some of the clients we've spoken to and other clubs we've spoken to and other organisations, hubs of data, for example. A 20% cancellation rate is fairly normal. Let's say that our 50 members who completed the survey haven't left. But it means that we are now looking at the disengaged at 750 members, because there's only 800 left in total. So actually, if 21% of those are returning, it's only 158 out of the 750. So how many members do we think will come back early doors from a 1,000, what was a 1,000 member club? Well, it's now an 800 member club, and I think there's going to be around 179 members coming back. So yes, we need to be working on social distancing and marking the floors and making sure the classes are right, and maybe putting screens in, but the club is not going to be that busy in week one, I don't think. Just translating that into a slightly different picture, the headline here is, I don't think that 88%, I mean, eventually, yes, they'll come back. I don't think 42% are going to come back on reopening. I think that 1 in 5 members have probably cancelled. Hopefully it's not as bad as that, but I know for certain that for some clubs it is worse. And I think that around 179 out of your 800 remaining members at a 1,000 member club, scale this up or down as you see fit, are going to return soon. We really need to think. We need to think about what the experience is going to be like for them, but we really need to think about what's happening to the other members. Do they have access to workouts online? Are we freezing their payments, or are we just reducing their payments? How are we going to support them? How are we going to keep them engaged? Also, we need to not measure visits going forwards. You probably have quite a lot of visits on your first day or your first week, but you really need to measure active members, which is going to be a key performance indicator for a lot of clubs. Some members will come back once, won't like it, and may not come back again. You need to track them as well. But enough of the reality check. I just want to jump onto a couple of hopefully more positive things to say, look, you need to be looking at new sales. You need to be looking at digital engagement. So while you're focusing on the operational side of the club and what's going on, we also need to say, look, the reality is we need new member sales. Quite a few clients of ours have been talking about not doing any new member sales in July and August. Well, I've been persuading them otherwise, and we're not into sales at GG Fit, we're into retention. But talking to new members, fitness converts from lockdown, and even more importantly, getting in touch with all your ex-members, particularly the ones that have left during lockdown, but you might cast a different campaign or even the same campaign back to other members who've left over the last couple of years. You need to communicate with all your members. You need to support the ones that have supported you through lockdown with discounts, bonuses, whatever else, priority booking. But say to them, for the sake of the business, we are bringing new members in. We do want to support the community and rebuild the community. And sell digital memberships as well. I'm going to come back onto this in a sec, but digital memberships will be part and parcel, or should be part and parcel of your new offering, not just classes, but also coaching. And finally, if you are freezing memberships, if you're agreeing to a membership freeze or a discounted payment or a suspension, then put a time limit on it. We need to get these members either back and digitally engaged, or even better, back into the club when they are ready, but not next year. And finally, in terms of digital engagement, this is really important. Just because we're reopening in a couple of weeks here in the UK, don't stop your online classes. You need, if anything, to up your game, to retain and engage with all those existing members and sell more, possibly, of these digital memberships. Make sure you're getting the most out of your app. If you've not got one yet, it's not too late. You can still get an app. It's going to be important for people to be able to book sessions or even book visits, possibly, to come into your club. So make sure your members are valuing and getting a lot from your app. Social networks are fine. It's a great way of getting messages out there, but I've heard from a couple of clubs who've had members who've cancelled, saying, you've not done anything for me during lockdown. And they've said, well, but we're putting a workout every day on Facebook. But that doesn't mean every one of your members is seeing it. Not all members are on Facebook or Instagram or Zoom or whatever else. So old school communication methods work well, and they reach further. You can track them better. Postcards to get people back into the club, text messages and emails. You can measure engagement and you will reach more members, but a combination of social and traditional comms is important for staying in touch with your members. So I hope this reality check helps your club, and that more of your members will be returning than the average. I hope it's better than what I'm predicting, but do take the time to consider new sales and keep your digital engagement up. Good luck with reopening. If you've got any questions, then please drop them in the comments below. And if you want to chat about how any of this applies to your club or your situation, then please get in touch. Guy Griffiths, guy at ggfit.com, or you can find me on all the socials at ggfit. I hope it was interesting. Thank you very much.